So what's happening, everybody? Well, we had one heck of a hailstorm that rolled through here and just destroyed about everything. Just about. So I had to go down to the VA today, so I wasn't in town. I was out of town at the VA hospital and had about 4 hours of appointments down there. And the Snorlord, the metalhead Viking caveman trucker, was at the helm, right? He was running the show. And so I get a call from the boss, and she's like, we got problems. And she sends me a video, and I sent that video to Snorlord there, but it was hail like the size of tennis balls. So, long story short, everything that was outside was demolished, right? So, all the vehicles they're ruined, right? They're wrecked. There's not a quarter panel or panel, hood, windshield that's not busted on them. So, all the vehicles that were sitting outside were wrecked. Now, even the wife's prize possession, the car she's had for 12 years, sports car, kept it immaculate, destroyed. So, and then the house is destroyed too. It can be fixed, but all the siding's damaged, windows are broken out. It just looks like a bomb hit the place, right? But you could fix the material stuff. So that's what insurance is for, right? You fix the material stuff. At least no one was hurt. That's the biggest thing. At least no one was hurt. But yes, big face. We do have that on everything, right? Even on the older cars, I still get full coverage. I don't do this PLPD garbage, right? So on all the stuff. But, there are deductibles. There's going to be deductibles on everything. And then you got to watch to make sure they don't try to shortchange you, right? But everything that was, like I said, outside, I guess they didn't even see it coming. Now, the car dealership right down the street, their whole inventory is a loss. I guess the news went there. Their whole lot. Everything in that, I guess, out there is gone. It's a total loss. My buddy is working just down the street. He pulls in the driveway, right? Because we're taping plastic over the broken sunroofs on these cars and everything, right? To try to keep the damage down to minimal as possible. It's going to rain again and all that. So we're taping all that stuff up, plastic and everything, and he pulls in with his pickup truck, and it's just dents everywhere, right? Hail dents everywhere. He said up at the school, he was working in one of the rooms, and the ceiling panels started falling down from all the waterlog and everything onto the ground. And somebody said, "Hey, did you go out and check your car?" So they were watching that hail. I said, "Oh, I forgot all about those." And every car out there in that parking lot was damaged, right? So, yeah, big hailstorm came out of nowhere, and it wasn't like small hail. This was stuff that could actually injure you. So I'm glad that no one tried to run out there and get the cars and try to put them indoors, because they could have been seriously hurt, right? I mean, you get hit by falling ice from 30,000 feet or wherever it is up in the sky. That's the size of tennis balls, because if it can put holes in the side of the house and bust the windows and do all that good stuff, and dent the pillars on the cars and everything, it can surely do damage to a body, right? That's right, Jim. Thankful for that. Good evening, Matt. Wheel Burner, what's up? Said it's Snorlord's fault. Retired Trucker says, "Oh, hail." Yes, that's what happened. So that's basically what's going on with me today. Thought it was going to be a decent day to go down there, get all these things done, and Steve, Snorlord, run the show, and but it didn't turn out to be a very good day, right? Other than that, right, it's been a really good day. We got more people coming on for next week, which is good for the company. I think, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 more guys. And then out of those, we have, they were talking about some of their friends thinking about coming over and things like that. So I said, well, just have them apply, right? As long as they qualify, we'll sign them on. We did get bigger discounts. You should send that video to the Weather Nation. Well, I did a short. I put it on a short, YouTube short. So the video's on there, and that's just a little clip, right? That was like the beginning, and you could see all the hail, the ice out in the yard. But that was just the beginning of it, and that was only Store Alert, a 20-second clip or something, 40-second clip. So it lasted quite a while. This guy just tanks. Thank you for the place to be for real trucking info. So where you're at, they sent us a thing, had to update insurance and things like that, because your logistics department over there, we've hauled some loads for that company. We had a Walmart and Menards that broken skylights flooded the stores from Rice Lake, Wisconsin, says Daryl. Yeah, I mean, you get hail that size, it's going to wreck whatever it hits. Doesn't matter. You hire company drivers? No, we do not hire company drivers. We have no company trucks. If you're an owner-operator, then go to lighttrucking.com and come on over there. And I was talking to Snow Lord today because I got an interesting call. And this is what a lot of the smaller companies can offer because they don't follow advice. Just like this TC right here says, right? Thunder funding, right? If you factor, let me turn that off. Let's see if that works. You want to factor Thunder funding. Tell them we sent you, and the reason why is because they have a great fuel card. Great fuel card. Now, one of the gentlemen that just signed on over here, he was at his last place. He was fueling from Nastic, and we had a phone call from one of the big trucking truck stop groups there, and they said, hey, what's your discount at these other truck stops? So I told him the discount. He said, well, will your guys fuel at our place? Well, yeah, you gotta be cheaper though. So he said, we'll get you a new discount. And on Nastic compared to what we're getting now at the one truck stop was 18-cent difference. 18 cents. From the TA Petro and all that stuff, this truck stop is now 5 cents or more better than what we were getting from those other companies. So our fuel discounts are just getting better and better because we're buying more and more fuel, which, that spreads along to all the contractors because unlike other companies, we do not dip into those funds, right? Everybody knows that a lot of the companies, if they get 50 cents off, they might say they only get 30, right? Because they keep that, or 25 and they keep half. We don't keep that. So we pass it on, and our drivers or contractors benefit from that. So we have fuel discounts that the other ones just can't offer, right? So that's a good plus. And we keep trying to get more and more discounts and bigger discounts to help out the contractors that are leased on over here. What else we got going on? Trucker with T-Bone says, just checked with the boss. Just rain and some big thunder. No damage. There you go. Did T-Bone or Matt get any hail? No, it was right in here. It didn't hit. It's weird because my brother's stuff, he only lives like 2 miles down the road. They didn't get it. You just go to my buddy's house that just stopped in with his truck that got damaged because he works right, about a mile up the road. His house is only about a mile and a half away. They didn't get that. So it was like a concentrated line, it seemed like. So I don't know, if a tornado came through somewhere close, but, something wasn't right. And then one of my buddies there that we snowmobile with, he drives for FedEx, and I called him up, and he says, it was really weird because he was sitting there at the terminal, and he's watching it, and he said, he said it looked really, really bad. All of a sudden it just popped up, said it looked really bad, and it went from like 85 degrees out to 65 or 62 degrees, somewhere there in less than 10 minutes. So he says, oh, something bad's going to happen, because it did a 20-degree drop in less than 10 minutes. And then that's when it all broke loose, right? So that's what we got to contend with tomorrow. We're going to have to do some cleanup. We're going to have to put some stuff over the windows until the insurance adjusters come out and assess the damage, and we'll go from there, right? So we're not going to really touch anything until they come out and see it all. We'll pick up all the fallen trees or branches out in the yard and things like that. But the house and all, and the cars, we're just going to leave them exactly like they are, except we'll cover up the broken windows and things like that so it can't rain inside the cars and ruin them worse than they are, just in case they don't total them, right? Because if they don't total them, then, which I don't know how they're going to fix all that, but we'll see. My first canned soda of the day, and it comes in the evening. And the only reason I'm drinking this is because, after today, I think I deserve one. Had enough water anyway. Enough water, I'm floating. That's never a good sign, especially when the sky turns green. Exactly. If you want to drive a company truck, go to where this guy Tanks works. Do some Cairo and make some good money, right? If you're a company driver, go drive that specialty tanker. So that's what we're going with the company. And the good thing is the bigger we grow, the larger we grow, and we get these other drivers in. They also have friends that are drivers, and they ask where they went, and then they tell them. And they, of course, everybody wants to see how it is. Let other people be the test individuals, right? So they see how it is, make sure everything's okay, and then they come on over. So we'll have somebody here on Tuesday. The other couple gentlemen, we're going to send the stuff to Georgia, and they're going to put it in their trucks themselves and get rolling from there, because we can get trailers from anywhere. So I found them a couple trailers close, not too far from where they live. They're going to go pick those up and roll, and that's how we're doing. This guy just Tanks, TC. I don't. Mr. Boggs there. Thanks, Jeff. You're welcome, Mr. Boggs. TK, hey now. What's up, TK? How's the firefighting business? Talked to your buddy today. That was before everything broke loose. I talked to him as I was going down to the VA. Yeah, so the gentleman that's going to be here Tuesday, he wants to get in and out of here as fast as possible. So I told him we could make some, new truck numbers and all that. So now we'll just leave the truck number I have on the truck. I'm used to it anyway. Just, we'll just heat gun the other signs up, put those signs on, and put the LD in and stuff, and do whatever orientation you got, and then I'll roll. I said, okay, that's fine. So he'll roll on up just north of here, grab that trailer that's been sitting there, ready to go, just got out of the shop. And it's going to need 8 tires pretty soon, because, they're like 8:30 seconds. They get down around 5, I start changing them. on the trailer. So I told him if he takes that trailer within a month, replace 4 of the back, and then a month later, 2 months later, when the other ones come down, because there's about a 2 or 3 tread depth difference between, your front and back axle. So I said when that other one comes down, we'll replace those 4 also. Then you have all 8 new tires, and the trailer's only a couple years old anyway. But hope everyone's equipment is okay. Well, yeah, luckily there was none of the equipment in this part of Michigan, except for our personal, cars and things like that was sitting outside. And that's all ruined, right? But it's all materialistic stuff. It can be replaced. Lives can't. So I don't get too attached to cars and things like that. Never have. So, but the boss is attached to her car, which is sad because it's basically ruined, right? And they're going to total that. I know they are. But so we'll see what happens. What's up, Henry Bob? What's going on? Great to see you too. We could let some people in here if we wanted to. Let's copy and paste this in here. If you want to join in, there's the link. We might let you in. We're not going to be on here long. I'm tired. I might actually sleep tonight. I don't know. Depends on how many people call and how many problems we got. But that's that. It's getting worse out here. Well, yeah, it is and it isn't. It just depends. If you have good relationships with brokers, it's still not that bad because you can still get some decent rates out of them and things like that. We do have that, that going for us and then the contractors on over here. So Steve has done a great job, and so has some of our contractors on securing that type of freight. And it's available for the whole company. So that's good. And we got some other things in the works that we're working on. So we'll see how that goes in the future. Just stoking, appreciate it. Thank you. 6 Sipper Tyrannus, thank you. What else we got here? Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Big Face Trucker. Man, you're having a good time out there, Big Face Trucker. I seen your last video. Matt K, what's happening? Matt K, his place didn't get hit. It didn't go over that far. He didn't see this type of hail. I think I got everybody. I feel so bad I had to siphon fuel from the guy that parked next to me last night. Well, hopefully you didn't do that. Hopefully you're just joking. Because that is a dangerous thing, right? If a lot of people carry in their trucks, and some people might not take kindly to that. Oh, you only had pea-size hail? Well, we had tennis ball size hail. I'd trade you because the pea-size hail wouldn't have done nothing except clean the vehicles off, right? I remember when I had 880 Volvo, I was parked at the truck stop over there off of 46, waiting to pick up some water the next morning, and they tried to steal my hubcaps and everything off the back of the drives, but see, mine, I had the tool to screw those on, and they tried to get them off, and they broke them, right? So they broke 3 or 4 of them and decided they can't get them, so they left, but the damage was done, right? And it's just so stupid, if you can't afford the stuff, then maybe you shouldn't be out here, right? Maybe you shouldn't be out here. I don't know if we should let this character on here live or not. I don't know if I'll let him on, but we'll see. Maybe we'll let him on. What's up, Mr. Boggs in the tanker
What's
hauling
happening, Jeff?
business? So,
How are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry you got hurt. Sorry to hear you got hit by that storm, and you're dealing with a leg and all that on top. My gosh, you're
well,
having a rough month.
hey, somebody's got to do it.
True,
Yeah.
true. But that's not going to slow you down.
No.
Sorry, I'm just fiddling with the light here.
How's the tanker business?
I just released a student yesterday, and he's going to be hauling oxygen, and he's going to do fantastic. Yeah, yeah. I got into the training. I put my name in the hat to start training, and I figured some of those old hands out here, it's kind of our responsibility to train up the new guys.
So, when you put your name in this hat, and the company goes in, they draw the names out of the hat to be the trainers. Was yours the only name in the hat?
There may be some truth to that. At least in my area, anyway.
Hey, they figure as long as they get a good driver that has experience, can train other drivers, it's a win.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, and I like to teach anyway, and I figure why not? It's a way to make a little extra money, and it breaks up the routine. It really, I think
Well,
I like to think I'm providing a service too, because
you ought to feel proud. You ought to feel proud that they put that in your hands to train other drivers in that equipment. That they, respect your work that well enough to allow you to do that.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. And yeah, it's you can't gripe about bad drivers or people not being trained out there if you're a seasoned vet and not putting yourself out there a little bit to help out.
See something you don't drink no more?
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah. Get the craving every once in a while, depending how hard the day is.
Oh, this is good.
But that's not caffeine-free. Diet caffeine-free?
No, it's just caffeine-free.
Oh, okay.
But, man, is it good. I'll give you a play-by-play.
No, I bet it.
Here, let me see.
Go. Killing me.
And that's
absolutely
smooth.
Killing me.
That is smooth, and you can taste the sugar. You taste that?
I can. The taste is kind of. I can almost smell like this wafting over from the panel over to me, and it's like.
This is like taste division, right? Taste division.
Yeah.
So.
Killing me.
I had a good day today. Besides that, because I dabble in the stock market, right?
Yeah.
And I have owned a lot of Sirius Radio stock.
Ooh,
right?
Did not know that.
And I bought it when it was up in the $6 range, right? Because it would roll between 6 and 7 consistently. Well, they got downgraded and they went all the way down to like $3.
Oh.
But I still have all my shares, right? Well, the last couple days, they started rising. And today, they got caught in the short squeeze. So they went all the way up to $8.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did you sit on it, or did you get rid of it?
Yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings, because they're doing the short squeeze on that stock.
So you went from a $3 loss to a $2 gain.
Yeah.
So it's Sirius XM and it's got to be, because I can't remember the last time. I mean, with my trainee, I did, because I'm not playing YouTube, especially with some of the videos I watch.
Well, they're talking about the subscription-based radio. They're talking about seeing the end to that sector, because everybody has this stuff on their phone, right? All these different Spotify's and everything. And a lot of cars will have Apple AirPlay and all this stuff built in, right? And people listen to their own music. So the analysts are thinking that in the future their days are numbered unless they change something.
It's got to be. It's got to be because Spotify and other apps like YouTube's got to be eating their lunch. And frankly, when I hadn't, even though I have Sirius XM in the truck, I hadn't listened to it in forever. And it was so jarring to hear commercials again.
Well, they got to make money somehow. They're trying.
Right, but I'm paying extra for the YouTube Premium.
Right.
And it's been so long since I had to listen to a commercial. It's just like, especially for like the talk radio, it's like you get 20 minutes of you get 20 minutes of actual content and 40 minutes of video or commercial, excuse me. And it's just like I can listen to YouTube and get all the content that I want, and it's it's just better. It's better if I want to hear a podcast or some of these other political pundits. It's they're out there,
Right.
and I don't have to deal with the My Pillow guy trying to sell me his buy one get one free pillow for like the 15th time that hour.
You mean that guy up in Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota. You want to buy a pillow? Get your pillow.
Doesn't he do other things too, like mattress pads or something?
Oh, I'm sure. I think he does sheets.
Sheets.
Real 100% Egyptian cotton sheets, probably like 120 count thread or whatever.
300 a count, I think it is. I think it's
about 300 count.
Oh yeah, it's got to be the good stuff.
Yeah, that's swanky.
Yeah.
Could go for a big bathrobe though, like a big jersey bathrobe. Yeah.
Okay, another one for you.
Oh. Yeah, you're just rubbing it in. You're just rubbing it in.
Yeah, it's almost gone. If I want to rub it in, I'd crack open another one.
Oh, I gotta hear the sound. It's been so long. I gotta hear that.
I can't. Yeah, it won't. I need a new one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go grab another one. I gotta hear that. I gotta hear that pop being top.
Look at this.
Pop top. Yeah. Now it's
Oh.
agua. Lots and lots of agua.
That
And
makes
man,
no
today-
sound.
Yeah, it doesn't. Except when I start waterboarding myself, I can make all the sound you want.
You drink all that, you waterboarded yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everything. It's not always sunshines and lollipops in the tanky, man. Today I busted my rear, and it was like triple digits all day. I'm out there in my PPE.
Rough down there in Texas.
Oh yeah, out there in my PPE, and got my gloves on, I got my hat on, so yeah, and the boots and all of it. You just cover it up, and you're like dying out there making my own gravy.
I know my buddy Bob, MT Fuel Corp. He'll click on that link. He'll jump in here, tell us about the firefighting days, see what his fuel company's doing.
Oh, he owns a fuel company?
Yeah, that's why he calls it MT Fuel Corp. And he has a flatbed.
Oh, right.
Right? So
Right
he has a fuel trucking company and his flatbed trucking company. So he operates two different DOT numbers.
Okay, that threw me for a loop. You're saying he was hauling fuel and he was also driving a flatbed. I'm like, okay, that's...
yeah, he does both, right?
So
he's got workers.
No,
See, here he comes. I knew you'd come in. What's up, Bobby? What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Bob.
What you guys doing?
Oh, kicking back.
Oh, man.
That's
how he works. That's how he works.
There's a Canadian guy in our
semi-retired.
little group that we hang out with, and he showed us a trailer that was a hybrid, and it looked like an aircraft carrier, but it was a flatbed tanker, literally.
Oh, what did it have?
And
One of
that's
those
something they
module
used to take up to
containers
like.
on it?
What's that?
It had one of those intermodals on it.
No, it was just a hybrid trailer going up into the territories up there in northern Canada. And what they would do is take fuel up to who needs it up there, and they would bring back a load of lumber on the flatbed part. But it tripped me out. I had never seen a flatbed tanker before, but they exist.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go over around here though. You got to be able to secure that thing to the bed of the flatbed. I'm not sure. I never saw one like that.
Yeah, the flatbeds parts on top, and then the fuel, the tankers in the middle. Then you got the frame,
And
and
then how's it
I don't know
secured
if
to the,
we,
how do they secure it?
well, I mean, to the flatbed part, they had the stakes and all that on there, but it was just a higher, but it's raised higher than a normal trailer because obviously because of the tanker part.
It was above
So,
13.6.
that I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, but going up to the territories, I don't know how many little bridges they're going to be hitting. I mean, they're looking to
Yeah,
have a road.
those guys have their own set of rules up there, right?
I would imagine, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Going up the Yellowknife and some of these other communities,
Right.
yeah, need the specialized equipment, but because the length of the haul is so long, they got to justify it by at least bringing something back, and that's where they bring back the timber.
Right.
But yeah, I had never seen it before, so there you go.
Interesting.
You can get that for your company since you're doing flatbed and fuel. You
Well,
can buy those hybrid trailers.
Jeff hasn't really spoken to me in a while. Yeah, I'm not doing flatbed anymore. I'm just running fuel, and I'm running locally. It's with the way the rates have been, and it wasn't, honestly, I just didn't see it feasible to continue running freight when the rates dropped. So I was a two business operation. I always ran fuel locally. I got my own direct customers, and you know, when rates dropped, like I said, I just my Peterbilt is parked. Basically, that's the bottom line.
We can't see. Is that a cream puff on the back of your phone? What is that?
That's one of the ice balls.
This is my pillow.
That's one of the
Yeah,
hailstones.
I'm
Oh,
in my bedroom.
Here.
I'm not on the road like
I'll
you
give you
guys.
a better perception.
What's that?
oh, that's wonderful. It's a baseball size.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm in my bedroom. It's actually bedtime. I can't
Dude.
see myself drinking
Oh, my.
Pepsi right now. It's happy hour, so I really should be
Hey,
drinking.
I used to do bedtime videos too. I totally get it.
Oh, look at him. He's got his fine wine.
Everyone's got a soda, right? So everyone, you're killing
He's
me,
got
guys.
his
You're killing me.
Chardonnay.
Yeah. No, it's this is a red blend. Red blend. You know, it's you know, we're on the East Coast here, so it's what is it, 9:30, 10 o'clock? Yeah, it's after 10.
Yeah, it's a Martha Stewart red blend.
Yeah, red blend. You know. Yep.
Look at him. TC, check it out. That's what happens
Man.
when you own a fuel company.
It's Taste Division.
That's right.
It's Taste Division.
It's Taste Division.
Guys are killing me.
TC's
Look, I'm not-
drinking
I'm
water.
not drinking
He's drinking water. And me and Bob's drinking the good stuff.
I got
drank
you.
Pepsi at like
get
2
my-
o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I'll get my fat ass out here in triple digit heat, and I'm out here dying. So I got to drink about a gallon of water, man.
Right now, right?
Yeah, he's in the sleeper.
Yeah, I'm in
you
a sleeper. Yeah.
You can't be drinking in the sleeper.
Yeah. You can't eat. He's
I'm gonna drink
drinking
a
water.
water, guys. Don't get it twisted. Water.
That's
See?
right. Water. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm home in bed.
Water. I don't know if that's watered, TC. If you were in Kentucky, who knows what's in
If it's
there.
not water, you never tell anybody. You just tell everybody.
Am I going cross-eyed or slurring my
That's right.
word?
Steve Snorlord says seltzer water and sparkling water is a great alternative.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Jeff, how you been, man? Haven't spoken to you in a while. How's it going?
Hey, we're doing good, man. We just, living the life and trying to help everybody out that we can, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, you're the best trucking channel on the whole system there. I really believe it. You know, your information is honest, and it's
Nobody
accurate.
watches. Nobody watches.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's boring content.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we can spice it up if you really want to, but I don't think you want to go there. So.
Well, I could have
Yeah.
spiced it up a long time ago myself. I don't need any help.
Oh, you know,
That's true. That's true.
This is a downturn for the trucking industry. You know, it's it's like a brush fire going on right now, burning all the underbrush, and eventually the strong will survive and the whole thing will turn around.
You know what it's like? It's like when somebody's up on stage and gives a speech, but doesn't know how to get off the stage unless somebody helps them. So it's like trucking. You just don't know what exit to get off on, you know?
Yeah.
Unless somebody tells you.
Thank God for me. Like I did trucking as a second source of income. So, and I'm a numbers guy, so I would crunch the numbers, and as it was, even when things were really good, there was still a lot of risk out there. Like you're making some good money, but you got there was just a lot of risk, a risk of accidents. There was a risk of not getting paid. I mean, I always use Thunder Funding; they're the best. But I don't know. Then when the rate started to turn downward, I'm like, I'm not putting myself out there for this. I'll wait.
Well, you only did it. You only did it to supplement when the fuel business was slow.
Yes.
In the summertime.
And listen, I'm not. Let's be honest. I'm not a hardcore trucker like the rest of you guys are, man. Jeff, you got more time in the bunk than I got behind the wheel.
I got more time going backwards than you do.
You got more time in reverse than I got. Yeah. I don't want to be misleading. I liked it. It was good, but it was short-lived at the moment because of the rates. I just feel bad for these guys that relying on this thing and they're just not paying. It's not their fault. It's just supply and demand.
No, it's not even supply and demand. That really has nothing to do with it either. If you look right at the problem is owner-operators run this business because there's more owner-operators out there than there are mega carrier drivers, right?
Yeah, true.
Yep.
So here's what happens. They're uneducated. Hate to say it, but if they were educated, then the pay would not have stayed the same for 30 years. Because right now at these rates are less than what people were making in 1992. It's the only business
I agree.
that doesn't get an increase.
No, I actually looked into that. The adjusted for inflation, back before deregulation, this is like in 2018 dollars. I gotta make that because we had like 20% inflation here recently. But back in 2018, what the guys were making in the 70s, they were making the equivalent of $120,000 average.
Right, but what would happen? Supply and demand, right? So let's say there was a lot of, hardly no loads, but a lot of trucks.
Right.
But if no one takes that load for $1, what has to happen? What's the shipper got to do, or the broker?
They got to raise the rate.
They got to raise the rate,
right?
Until someone takes it. But see, you got a lot of people out there, and I guess say, we're gonna get into. I'm trying to walk around this subject, right?
I get it.
But you get a lot of these folks come in and become owner-operators, but they know nothing about the industry.
Well, what about?
And there will be 3, 4, or 5 of them in one truck, and they will take anything.
Wait, let's cut them a little slack right here, right? And so, what if it's this? Okay, a person decides to be an entrepreneur, and they make a move, and they go out and they purchase a truck, and let's just face it, trucks are expensive. Most people that purchase a truck are going to have to purchase it and take a loan, right? And so now they go out, they save their money, they put some money down, and they have a $3,000 or $2,500 a month payment. Their insurance company wants comp and collision on the truck, so now they're paying a higher rate. You know as well as I do, a new carrier is going to be paying north of $25,000 a year for insurance, and now they get on the road and they start working, and the rates go down a little bit, right?
Right.
And I would have to think that something is better than nothing. And I kind of want to give these people the benefit of the doubt that, yeah, they're getting, they're getting 50 or 40% less than they normally would have gotten a few years ago, but it's better than getting nothing. So they're
Right.
taking it.
So
They're taking
Well,
it, and then
just
at least they're chugging along and maybe paying their bills and they're hanging on. But you can't fault them for trying to make it work once you're into it.
right, but
That's what I think.
they should have studied the business that they were getting into
Wow,
before getting into it.
wow.
from what I'm seeing, an observation I made is that our economy is picking up. I'm talking about trucking specifically. It's picking up where 2019 left off, and because remember that trucking economy was coming off the boom of 2018, and there was a correction. And the problem is we had the pandemic that interrupted that cycle, and then we had a rubber band effect because the world economy was shut down for like 9 months, and then we had to play catch up, and the factories and all that had to come back online. Now that we're back to where we're at, we're picking up where 2019 was at.
But
And unfortunately, with the rates, what happened with the pandemic is that so many people decided to get in the trucking because it was a quick and easy buck to make, because it wasn't for any. I remember so many people was like, it was $10,000 a week like clockwork, easy, and so many people were coming in, then the equipment and the labor costs and everything just inflated, and so many people came in and they bought on the high, and now they're getting their butt handed to them.
right, because and even the dealerships
Right.
are getting handed to them because their trucks that they were selling for 250 grand are not worth 250 grand.
No,
Right.
well, remember the trailer? Well, I know
The
you guys are in
trailers-
business on it, but the trailers were astronomical.
Well,
I mean,
here's the deal, TC. I bought, and I have a really good trailer place that I work with. So during that pandemic, just before it was coming out, trailers were around 32 to 35 brand
Yep.
new,
I was gonna say 34. Yep.
and they started going to 40. Then they went to 50. Then they went to 60. And
Yeah.
my dealership says, we have a trailer here. You want to buy it? And they sold it to me for $32,500, not for $60.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
Wow.
I took it. Then they went to $90,000 for a van trailer.
it's
And
crazy.
These people are out there buying 10-year-old trailers for $30,000-$40,000.
Unbelievable.
And
Yeah, that's stupidity.
those are the people that the correction is going to take them out of business.
They couldn't make them fast enough.
Well, I really don't believe that either.
I think they gouged. I think
I
were
think they
gouging
just-
because material didn't go up. very
Right.
much.
They just
They were full of it.
set back and collected the big money.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because think of it, if you're a manufacturer and say, oh, well, we can't get the steel, we can't get this, parts are short, but now we could sell this trailer for 3 times what we did before. One trailer.
Sell it. If
So
you can
they're-
get it, right?
They make one, get the price of 3.
That's right. I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Can't blame them.
Yeah. If you bought your equipment pre-pandemic, you're probably still doing okay. But if you came in and bought your equipment when everything was an all-time high, they're suffering. They're not going to make it. They're just not going to make it.
Right.
And it's unfortunate.
guess
I mean,
you know
that's
what?
just reality.
There's something to be said for what Jeff's saying about people getting into the business without doing their homework. But then, like I said, then there's also people, that get into the business around 2017, which was when I got involved in it. And, I did my homework, and luckily, I mean, I played my cards right. I rented a trailer by the month at first. I had a flatbed for a little while. I wanted to see how the flatbed went, and then I switched over to a dry van. And you know, I tell you what, I definitely made money. I did okay. I bought my truck cash. I was in a better position than probably most people. I was able to, you know, I bought a 2008 Peterbilt. I wanted a nose truck. I bought it, and I paid cash for it. I put money into it. It's a good running truck, and you know, I don't have a
Plus,
payment.
plus you had some
And
local freight that helped you
and
out.
I had listen. Well, once again, I'm a numbers guy, and I kept on saying to myself, you know, I know this isn't going to sit well with everybody watching, but like, why do I need a broker? I need to find direct freight. That's how I felt. You know,
Cut
like,
the middleman.
yeah,
Absolutely.
why? I mean, they have a purpose, you know, but at the end of the day, I always got treated like, it seemed like I got treated like garbage from every broker I worked for. Every once in a while, you found a good broker that, did the right thing and appreciated, on time delivery service and delivering on what you said you were going to do and picking up the load and doing the right thing. But I felt like, you know, it was key to have your own customers. And I ended up grabbing an account, and it was pretty good. It was paying $16.50, and I was picking up 15,000 pounds of vacuum cleaner bags, and I was running those bags from Long Island out to Pittsburgh, and it was paying $16.50, and I would pick it up at like it was once a week. I'd pick it up between 10 and 11 a.m. and the receiver would wait for me. And when I got to the receiver, he'd unload me and I'd be done. 1650 one day. And then I'd jump
Yeah.
on the load boards and figure it out, you know. But that was the key. To me, the key was having direct freight, having customers that, you had a rapport with, and they valued your service. And the guy paid me the following week, every week. It was a good gig. You know, it ended. Eventually it ended, but
Yeah. Did you ever
that
go
was.
back on the board and see what that load's paying nowadays?
Well, I don't know what it's paying, but if I'm to guess, that load's paying 1,000 or less. I would guess.
Probably, yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
running water bottles just like Jeff did. I mean, one of my go-to loads, to get home, I would leave Long Island, I'd run out to Pittsburgh, and I'd run like I'd run a rectangle. I'd usually not go any further than Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'd head north up into Buffalo or in that area, whether it be northern Pennsylvania or Erie, that area, and then I'd grab something and I'd try to take it across 90 and come back into the Syracuse area or Albany, and then from Albany I'd do a run back to Long Island. That's how I'd run. And water bottles was something that I would do all the time. I'd usually be able to catch that out of Hartford, Connecticut, and I'd run those back to Long Island, and they were paying, for 155 miles, they were paying, anywhere between $850 to $1,100, depending
Yeah, I knew.
upon.
Yeah, I believe it. I knew a couple of guys out of Connecticut that were on a water route. I think it was it Purina?
I was running Kirkland. I was running Nestle. It was Costco,
Nestle.
BJ's, type of stuff like that,
Net-
right? It was
Nestle.
paying.
I got
Now
it twisted.
those loads are paying $540.
You're drinking Nestle, TC.
Yeah.
$540. The same
Yeah.
load was paying $850 to $1,100. That load's paying $540 right now. And you got
Who knew?
between tolls and fuel, you got $175 worth of expenses in that one run. So it's like, it's not. I don't. For me, it just doesn't. I'm not taking that risk for that little amount of money. When things change, we'll see.
We're all middle-aged guys. Could you imagine as kids, we were drinking this out of a hose?
Yes,
That
for
this
free.
would be
For
this
free.
would be liquid gold. The idea of bottled water was asinine. He was like, bottled water, it's like free.
Unreal, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now look what you pay for it.
Yeah.
This 2 years ago, this bottle was $1 at Walmart, and I'm now paying $1.38. Bottled water.
Right. But where did trucking go? We didn't get a raise.
The other way.
Well, it's because freight dropped. freight draft. I mean, there's more than it's not just one thing. It's a confluence of events.
Well, yes,
You know,
it is.
geopolitical. Uh, China
Well,
had their
it really is
zero
funny.
COVID policy for a while, so the factories didn't come online like they were supposed to, and then we're just getting less freight in.
It is, but if the whole group stuck together, then we wouldn't have
like
the rates we have.
Like the railroads when they had the president
Railroads,
intervene.
UPS.
They had the president intervene on the railroad behalf to get that deal done.
Yeah,
We don't have that kind. We
I
don't
just
have that
feel
kind
like
of pull in trucking.
there's just too many truckers out there, and
We're the only transportation
they're not gonna stick
outfit
together.
that doesn't have representation.
They're just not going to stick together. I mean,
Right.
everyone has to just do their part and park their truck. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know, it's.
I've got mixed feelings on unions, but I think there is a need for a private sector union for at the very least owner operators.
I agree.
And OIDA is just not doing enough. They don't have enough pull.
They don't do hardly nothing.
Yeah.
When it comes down,
and it's unfortunate, but it's that's what needs to happen. The independent contractor is going to have to bite the bullet and then organize, and that's the only way it's going to. I mean, look at Yellow, look at UPS. They're about to go on strike because
Yellow might be done.
They could be, yeah.
They could be done.
Yeah, and it seems like the union's okay with that. It's like, we'd rather you close your doors than work for a bad rate.
Well, they're already getting a good rate, though.
Well, I'm talking about for the employees.
Well, they're already getting a good rate.
Are they really, though?
Yeah.
They're getting like 55 cents a mile.
That's like UPS. They're getting a good rate.
Yeah.
But they're getting more than just that. When you look at their benefit package, their overtime package, because they're just not getting paid just by the mile.
No, and before I came here to CAG, I was actually hired by Yellow, and I was going to run that out of Dallas. It was like they were doing team operations, but then when I looked more into it, I'm like, yeah, it's appealing. You're going to get a pension if you stick around long enough. But then I hear horror stories about guys coming up on their 7th year and then they wind up getting tossed off, so they don't get the pension. That happens a lot, and also you'd languish on the load board until something opened up, and then you would wind up having 2 bosses. You'd have the senior driver on the route would have a lot of pull whether they want to work with you or not and allow you that position, and then you have the terminal manager as well. I'm like, man, I've been doing this too long. I'm not going to have 2 bosses, and the other guy. And I'm definitely not going to have the guy in the bunk that's behind me being a boss over what I'm doing. We're a team operation, like an equal, or they could suck it. So I just I said no. I said no. I'm not doing the load board thing.
Yeah. The load board thing, it just seems like you're listen, business, when you're a business owner and you pride yourself on providing good customer service and developing relationships, and it just seems like no matter what, when you're working with the brokers and the load boards, it just seems to me like it doesn't matter how good your service is. All that really matters is about the price. And so I had a hard time with that. It just didn't make sense. It was, people in this world, people will pay for service. They'll pay for quality, but not in the trucking industry. The trucking industry doesn't care if your truck, a broker doesn't care 9 times out of 10 if your truck is held together with bubble gum and zip ties. As long as your price is lower, you got the job. And I just had a hard time with that. I just didn't. It just doesn't seem right. It goes against all the principles that I've grown up with. service
Yeah,
and
I
quality
misspoke.
equals
It's called an extra board. I don't know why I said load board. It's extra board. It's what they
right.
called it.
Right.
Okay. Well, since you're, I got a side question here. Since you're a fuel guy, and I ran fuel for 3 years. How do you feel about the fuel of the future, hydrogen?
Say that again.
How do you feel about the fuel of the future in hydrogen? Are
To
you
be
going to
quite
get into
honest
that?
with you, I mean, look, this is the way I look at it, right? I'm just gonna get into a different spot here. I'll tell you this. I don't know much about hydrogen, right? But I do know this. Right now, we're a fine.
Yeah.
Are there better options? There probably are, but I don't think they're perfected yet. You know, years ago, people used to heat their houses with wood, and then it went to coal, and then it went to fossil fuels. And you know, in my area, you know, years ago, I can remember when coal trucks would come and deliver coal and shoot the coal into the basement, and you had a coal burner, and that's how you heat your house, right? And then the greatest thing is, you know, heating oil, and so yeah, is heating oil. If you think about it, you need to have a truck come to your house, pull a hose, and fill a tank, and it's dirty. It works, but it's antiquated. And I'm in the business, but you can't just flip a switch and get rid of fossil fuel. There has to be infrastructure in place, and it has to be something better. And it's going to be in my opinion, probably, I'm 59 years old.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to see it, but it's going to fuel eventually. Fossil fuel is going to phase out, and maybe it's going to be hydrogen. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be
Well, I
something
mean,
better. There is.
yeah, it's well, the problem with hydrogen is that they had to develop a cheaper way to manufacture it, and they're doing that. And
Very
I don't know,
volatile.
Jeff. I mean,
I'll tell you that.
you do a lot of investments, right? So it's just like when they're trying to electrify everything, but you realize there's literally not enough cobalt, nickel, and lithium on the planet to electrify everything. And
they're having problems with it. Listen, lithium is going on fire. I mean, around here, I mean, you got these electric bikes that people are riding around the areas. They're parking them in their houses, and they're going on fire.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Airlines won't allow you to put a lithium battery in the cargo hold. So
no, and
right now, that's not perfected.
It's highly volatile. If you guys, if you just go Google what happens to lithium when it comes in contact with a liquid like water, a guy is taking like a AA battery, just a AA battery, and unrolling it. It looks like tinfoil, right? It looks like a big roll of foil in there, and then he just drops it in like a bowl of water and watch what happens. Now imagine that in a big rig, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, it's really really safe." But look, man, you're going what? Anywhere from say 85 miles an hour, because that's the speed limit out here, in parts of Texas. You're impacting with something with that mass, 80,000 pounds at 85 miles an hour. You can crack open that battery.
Yeah.
And if any liquid at all gets in there, you're done.
What if you're in a torrential rainstorm and you get an accident and it cracks that battery open?
The first reaction is literally it explodes.
Right.
And then the fire starts, and you can't get the fire out until you get rid of the moisture.
I'm gonna put it in perspective right now, right? Remember the first cell phones? I mean, these things were like bricks.
The bag phones.
Yeah, I remember James Bond had one, right? It had a box and a cable and this and that, right? Remember James Bond?
Weighed like a brick.
If you thought that 10 years down the road that everyone would be walking around with a computer attached to their hip, you wouldn't have believed it. But guess what?
Yeah.
The technology came along, and that's what we have. And you know what? That's what's going to happen with energy.
You don't even have to go that
right
far.
Right now, this is what we have. Is it? Look, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm a conservative guy, right? And but there's got to be something. There's got to be something better. And I know I deliver fuel, and that's how I make my living. I have a tank truck. I fill a tank truck. I pull a hose and I fill a tank. That's antiquated. There's gonna be something better.
Well,
It's
Bob,
gonna come.
since you're 59,
Yep.
you'll remember this. I don't think TC will. He is probably like too young. But do you remember we thought the best thing that ever hit the planet was a touch-tone phone from Rotary Dial?
Oh, that was great. My father wouldn't pay the extra $1 a month that it cost to have one.
Can you remember dialing a
Dad,
rotary
come
phone?
on.
You go 2, did it, 5, did it.
Yeah.
And then, let's say you went down to the 0, got halfway up, and it fell. You had to start all
Right.
over again.
That's why you use a pencil with the eraser
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
And don't forget your MCI long distance calling card.
Yes.
Exactly. How
Yeah.
about the beeper? Remember the
Yeah,
beeper?
the pagers.
Yeah.
That was the
But
day.
you were talking about the some of the technology. Remember you're talking about James Bond. Remember the old remember Q, the technology guy, and then he would get these really nice cars, and he'd have the TV screen in there, and Q was talking to him over this television screen.
Right?
And now we're doing that with our phone.
We're doing it. We're doing it right now. I'm on my phone right now as we speak.
What about Star Trek with their communicators?
Think about it.
Exactly. Yeah, they always talked to the aliens. It was a big TV screen at the front of the bridge, and that was the best thing ever. But everyone's got it now.
And here, you could be in California when Sprint came out, push to talk, right?
Oh,
Walkie-talkie.
Nextel.
You could-
Yeah,
right?
Nextel, yeah.
Nextel. Talk to somebody in California, New York, just push the button. That was Star Trek
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You never
yeah,
thought.
a worldwide walkie-talkie.
Yeah, it worked in Mexico. You could talk to a guy in Mexico too. It was unbelievable. Like I said, you know what? Let's face it. At some point in time, somebody's going to come up with something way better than fossil fuel. And guess what? I don't think electric is the way to go. I think
It's
it's going to
not.
be better than electric.
It's not.
Somehow,
Electric's
some
not.
way, it's going to be better than electric. Because electric
It's
right now,
it's hydrogen. Hydrogen
Maybe.
is the most abundant element in the universe.
and what is it?
And-
When the engine runs, it gives off water, right?
Yeah. The byproduct is water vapor, which is going to be its
Right.
own problem because
Right.
water vapor is technically a greenhouse gas. So when you have everyone in California running a hydrogen-powered car, then you're introducing a lot of water vapor into a desert, and it's going to warm up. So that's going to be its own unique circumstances, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
that's
hell.
what it
Yeah, it'll
is,
come
man.
down. It'll
I
come
don't
down.
know. Listen,
beating you in the head.
I equate hydrogen to the Hindenburg. That's my head. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
very, very volatile. And how will it perform in a motor vehicle accident? That's what I think. I'm like, is it going to just explode? I mean, around here, we've got a lot of natural gas vehicles. We got the guys that can pick up my trash. They have a natural gas garbage truck. Natural gas seems to be in a lot of abundance around here. I mean, some of the town trucks. We've even got a Coca-Cola company that runs around delivering Coca-Cola with a natural gas tractor trailer. It's a day cab,
Yeah.
but that's what they do. So I see a lot of natural gas.
I deliver occasion liquid methane or natural gas. It's we have an abundance of it. That's what we should be using. It doesn't have the same kinetic potential as diesel, and you're only going to get about 5 miles a gallon,
Right.
or equivalent to what diesel burns. But it's cheaper, and we have a buttload of it. And honestly, it's better for us to burn it or use it as fuel, other than allowing it to be released up in the atmosphere.
Right.
Because that's ultimately what happens to it. It'll eventually make its way to the surface, and then it warms everything up. So
And
we might as well burn it.
All
and
of
be
our
done with
buses, around here, our local, mass transit, they're
Yeah.
run by natural gas too.
Well, natural gas is best for heating the homes too.
it. Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
cheap.
All those oil deliveries to like people's furnaces out there. if they were able to switch to natural gas, it'd be much, much cleaner and more cost effective.
Well, they would be cleaner, but the cliche out there is that oil heats best, and it does. It's not just a cliche. So what happens around here is, obviously the residential homes, if they have natural gas, they're fine with it, and the gas is able to burn hot enough to heat the home. But in some of the large buildings, and especially some of the buildings that are heated by steam, they have to be multi-fueled, because when the temperature drops into the 20s, natural gas can't burn hot enough to produce the heat and the BTUs needed. So it gets cold, it gets into the 20s, and they switch from natural gas to heating oil. That's what they do.
I think it depends on the insulation you're building, because I'm speaking from experience here, because even though I live in Texas, I live near DFW, and a couple of years ago, Texas was covered in ice, and all the power was going out, and people were freaking out because like the power plant lakes were freezing up, and they couldn't keep up, so they were shut down. And the only thing that saved our bacon at the house is that we have a wall-mounted natural gas heater, and we have it in our living room, and it made everything nice and toasty. And that was a saving grace.
Yeah,
so I mean,
I don't know about Texas, but I do know about here in the New York metropolitan area.
Yeah.
What'll happen is like I said, even when they're producing electricity, if it gets too cold, the schools, the bigger buildings, they go on. There's a term they use for it. I forgot the exact term, but the idea is they switch from natural gas to fossil fuel, to heating oil, and then heating oil goes through the roof. If you've got a tank trailer, a local tank trailer driver around here, you're delivering 5,000 gallons, 10,000 gallons a week to some of these buildings, and the power plants have trailers lined up. Like there could be 5 or 6 12,000 gallon tankers just waiting to just continually offload to keep the generators, the big power plants running, because natural gas can't keep up when it's cold around here anyway. Texas, I don't know. Texas doesn't usually get much frost.
No.
I know they've gotten banged a few times in the last couple of years, but they don't really get that cold.
On average, yeah, you're going to have harsher winters than we do. I'm just
right.
But that particular winter, it was bad. And
the
probably,
only way
honestly,
they get frost in Texas is if TC cracks the valve open.
Right. That's right. I can get frostbite here in triple digit heats. True story. But I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of factors. I mean, New York City's an older city, right? So I'm sure they have a lot of older buildings without great insulation. So I mean, if they modernize a lot of that,
steam. The whole city basically runs on steam. There's steam pipes everywhere.
Yeah.
The buildings pick up steam from the street, and that's how they heat. And in order to make the steam, when it gets below a certain temperature, and it's not that cold, it's in the 20s, they have to switch. There's a term that they use for it, and the whole fossil fuel industry out here, the heating oil industry, knows they're going that on such and such a date we're switching over, and then it's overtime galore for all these guys that work for the companies.
Oh, I bet.
Owner operators are making a lot of money too. But we haven't had that much. Last year we had a very mild winter. I mean, most of I would say that I was down 30% last winter for me, and that's probably what the industry was down. If I was down 30%, 30% of a little is still 30%.
30%, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. Like I said, it's not going away in my lifetime, and it's too bad that I probably won't be around to see what the future holds, because it's going to be something really cool. I mean, I could envision, you taking your garden hose and filling your car up, and somebody's going to figure it out. That's what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, you laugh about that, but they've also made great last year, as a matter of fact, they made a great breakthrough in fusion technology. They actually got a fusion reaction going that they got more energy out of it than they put into it, and they're only going to perfect that, and that is going to be a game changer.
I mean, I
STT.
remember reading an article in Popular Mechanics a while back where they were talking about each individual home actually having a mini nuclear fusion unit in the backyard somewhere that was safe, and it would run your house for your whole lifetime.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah,
hey,
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot safer than the fission reactors. Basically, what happens is they get a plasma. They get like a donut going on, right? It goes around and around and around. So they heat it up basically like to the temperature of the sun, and you create the plasma. And if something happens to the plasma while it's circulating, it stops. The reaction stops.
Wow.
There's no fallout. There's no blowing up. It just stops doing its thing, and then you have to, you know, you'd have to restart the process, and I'm sure that'd be energy intensive. But as far as it just going boom like Fukushima or what the Russians are doing out there in Ukraine, it doesn't do that.
Right.
Completely, it's a different reaction. So
It's coming.
that
It's coming. Like
yeah.
I said, I hope I'm alive to see it, but I don't know. Sometimes who knows? But what are they heating up there in Michigan, Jeff? Propane mostly, or natural gas? What do you guys
natural gas and
Natural-
propane.
Right.
Our neighbor across the street, they're got an old farmhouse, and they still use heating oil. But when we first bought this place, they had propane,
Right.
Yeah.
and we talked. We had to get 2 of the 3 neighbors to agree, and they would run natural gas down here.
And you split the cost.
We split the cost, and that first heating season, I went from $600 a month for propane to about $150 a month for natural gas.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Propane is it's like weird. Like no one really knows like how it's priced. Like so
Right.
a lot of guys that are in my business that deliver heating oil and diesel. I deliver heating oil and diesel, but they also own a propane truck, and it's like it seems like it's almost like if you start calculating, it's like $6 a gallon. Like it's crazy. It's very, very expensive. I mean and it's the same process. You have a tank, and it's got to be delivered.
Right.
It's like, but propane.
And
Guys
you better
propane
hope you don't have a
generator-
leak, because you lose your propane.
Generators, right?
Right.
The area I live in, people have where there's no natural gas, they have propane generators.
Right.
And we're like right off the Long Island Sound, and we get windstorms, and there's a lot of trees, and the power goes out.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
When that power goes out, man, the freaking the propane guys are making. Me too. I mean, there's guys that have diesel generators too, but more than me, the propane guys are like killing it. They're killing it. Those propane generators start up like whatever it is, a couple of times a week just to test and run and shut down. It's a good market,
You gonna go grab a propane truck then?
Probably not. I think. Listen, I got to tell you, I have my tank trucks are straight. I have three straight jobs. I have 2 10-wheelers and a 6-wheeler, and and I have the tractor. And so my next purchase is probably going to be 11,000 gallon or 12,000 gallon tanker. That's what I think. And that would
full
work
grown,
for me
okay.
because I'd be able to pick up fuel for myself, and I'd also be able to sub out, and stay locally.
It'd be a dual
That'll be
purpose.
awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But you know what? I was gonna, I always take this. I have this philosophy. I'm like, when I'm about to do something and pull the trigger on something like that, I always say to myself, delay, just delay. Think about it, delay, right? And last year, I almost I almost bought one last August, a year ago, and they're, if you buy a new one, they're about 130 grand. And then, I mean, you could find a used one for in the 50s or even less. But anyways, I delayed. It was a good thing I did. It was a slow winter. It was warm, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I rent tank space, so I have tank space, so I have tank space at a terminal. So the way it works is I'm able to, if obviously it's like the market, right? Jeff's a market guy, but it's hard to time the market, right? But when I know fuel pretty well, and when fuel is at what I think to be a good number, I could buy 10, 20,000 gallons, and I could store it and pay rent. I pay rent to store it. Like right now I have my 3 tank trucks. One truck's is got about 1,900 in it. The other one's got about 300, and the third one is just about empty. But I have 12,000 gallons of fuel in stock inside of my terminal tank space that I rent. So, and I've got it at a good price. So that's
good.
That's pretty much what my business is right now. It's no longer, I'm not running on the road and being treated like garbage by receivers and shippers and brokers.
Tell you, life is just better when you're tanking, right?
You know what? I like the way tankers look too. I do. I'm a tank guy. I've always. You remember years ago?
We're not going to go there, Bob. We're not going to go there.
You remember those Hess trucks?
Yes.
Christmas time? I always loved those trucks, and it's just me, man. I just like trucks. I like tank trucks.
Well, folks,
and I like Peterbilts. I know Jeff doesn't like Peterbilts, and he's probably right.
I didn't say I didn't like them.
They're not practical. You're right.
They're practical in certain situations, right? So if you're like a heavy haul, or you're driving doubles, drop deck stuff like, or heavy haul guy, then it's okay. Or if you're like in Michigan and you're hauling the Michigan trains, that's what everybody drives, because you're getting no fuel mileage no matter what truck you got. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're pulling over 100,000 pounds. It doesn't matter if it's a Freightliner or a W900. You're both going to get 3 miles a gallon.
Right. You're 100% right. I mean, if you can get 10 miles to the gallon versus 5.8, that's just money going. You said it over and over again, Jeff. It just goes out your stack, and why bother? It's cheaper, 100% cheaper, to go out and get yourself a brand new Volvo that gets 10 plus miles to the gallon, instead of having a Peterbilt, an older Peterbilt nose truck that gets you 5.8.
Yeah.
And you're just blowing thousands of dollars out of the stack.
But if you take that Peterbilt with that long nose, let's say you like the coffin sleeper, things like that.
Yeah. Blacked out headlights.
Flat top. See, that truck's practical in heavy haul, pulling gravel trains and things like that, right? Because
you're right.
Super heavy loads, you're going to get 3 to 4 miles a gallon no matter what truck you got. Yeah. But it's not practical pulling, let's say, a drive-in or a reefer coast to coast.
I agree. You're right.
I've never been a big fan of the hood trucks, but over here we're running the 579s. So I mean, same kind of. I mean, what do you feel about them? I mean, they're just like a Volvo or a Freightliner.
Yeah, they're not a nose truck.
You can see how he feels. Look at him.
Yeah,
he's ready to grab another glass of wine.
It's not a nose truck, but you're right. I can't argue with you. You're right. It's. But look, I'm going to tell you this, okay? So I broke down in Salem, Salem, Virginia. Where the hell was I?
Virginia.
Yeah, Salem.
I remember. You had to get a rider truck.
I had a load of whatever. I had soap of shampoo. I forgot the name of the car. I had a whole load of shampoo on the truck, right? And I had to go to Hamilton, New Jersey, and I'm coming through Virginia, and the thing, my PCM went dead. The whole dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree, and
Oh
at 3
man.
o'clock in the morning, yeah, it sucked. It sucked, and I coasted over to the corner, and I had to the shoulder, and I had the roadside come. The guy was touching shit that he shouldn't have been touching. Like, listen, dude, and then I had to get towed, and cost me. So they kept the truck. I ended up renting. So I left.
So I
the
remember.
truck.
I remember,
Yeah.
Bob. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left
Your
the
buddy.
truck in Virginia, and I rented. A buddy of mine hooked me up with a rider. It was a Freightliner. It was a day cab. And I snapped the tractor onto the trailer. And, I called my broker, and I said, listen, I'm probably going to be a little late. No problem. Well, let me know when you're going to get there, blah, blah, blah. And but here's the difference, right? My Peterbilt, like, it controlled the load. Like, the truck was rock solid. It's rock solid to the road, man. When you let up on the gas and the jakes kick in, that tractor controlled that trailer. When I snapped on with that Freightliner, which was a lighter truck, I just felt like as I was driving it, that trailer
The trailer was driving you.
Yeah, it was like granted,
It was pushing it. They hurry up.
miles to the gallon.
It was like having a
5 more
tanker
miles to the
with no
gallon.
baffles.
Yeah. I'm like,
Oh, man.
oh my God. Now listen, it was a day cab. It wasn't a Freightliner sleeper, which would have been a little heavier. But the whole truck itself just felt like, I don't know, I felt safer in the Peterbilt. I was planted to the road. And I don't know, that's just how I felt. And I guess I'll always drive a Peterbilt or a Mac. I'm a Mac guy too. I got
He's a Mac guy.
a Peterbilt and an International. I love my Macs.
Macs,
yeah,
Macs are. Well,
I love that.
Mac dump trucks,
Ah,
Mac tanker, like for fuel and stuff. Those are the real Mac trucks.
I
The
agree.
over-the-road Mac trucks.
I don't know. I never went over the road with my.
You don't like the anthems?
I was gonna buy an Anthem.
Yeah, it's a Volvo.
For
It's a Volvo.
STT.
Why
It's
you
not even
buy
a
it?
Volvo. The doors just feel really flimsy. If you open them up, they're really thin. And you can hear it when they close, right? The plastic's cheapened up. And getting into the sleeper, and the one I was in, you had a ledge you had to step up. So you kept tripping on it. And you could sit in the driver's seat and reach the passenger door. Nah, that's not.
Oh man.
No.
No.
Yeah, I got a 94 690S with a Mac 300 and a 10-speed, and it was a 10-wheel. That truck is, the air conditioner blows ice cold in it. It's just a beauty. I get compliments with that truck. It's a beautiful truck, and I don't know, man, I just love it. I'll be out in it tomorrow.
I mean, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, hood trucks can be nice trucks. It's just me personally. I prefer driving the snubber nose, just because the size of the windshield. I have better view. I can see where I'm going in front of me. Turn radius.
388. I don't have a 389. I got a 388, which is a shorter nose, and I understand. And you know what? I'm not a good driver. I can drive a straight truck, but I'm challenged. Jeff knows it takes me back and forth about 15 times to get it straight into the dock. And
as long as you're not hitting anything, it's all good, baby.
No, I ain't hitting anything, man. There's just no way. That's why it takes so long for me to get into the dock. But it's a shorter nose, and I don't know, that full 389 nose is makes a difference, man. Some of these loading docks around, especially around here where I am, they're tight. They're tight.
Hey, where you're at,
listen,
Bob, they're made for 40-foot trucks.
I agree.
Not 70-foot trucks.
And there's a lot of brush overhanging, and you know what? So you don't hit a fence post, or you don't hit but you're scraping the nose of your truck on a tree branch. It's like, you know what? You want to keep your truck nice. You know, you don't want your truck to get all scuffed up. For what? For $540?
Right.
I heard recently from another driver that there's a company that's gonna be reintroducing cab overs. Have you heard about this?
Yeah. What company was it? Well, they're talking about. Wait a second. Is it Amazon's got cab overs out in? Did you see that, Jeff?
Maybe it was
Amazon's
Amazon.
got
Yeah,
cab
maybe it was.
overs out in the west. Out in west. It might be in like California, I think. And they're claiming. What does that mean? Time's up. Got to go to bed now.
That was TC blew his horn.
Oh, really? Was someone
Yeah.
backing into you at a truck stop?
Oh, right here with the bunk. Yes.
Yeah, see his
Really?
arm? Look.
Where are you parked?
So what do you think? You're gonna turn in the long nose for a cab over to get around the New York streets?
It's
Yeah, he's
possible.
gonna get cab over.
Not a cab over. No. If
Yeah.
I was going to get a cab over, I'd get an old Kenworth or an old Pete or an old Mac.
Yeah.
Nah, you want something
Caterpillar.
modern, man. Something like coming out of Europe.
He wants one of those Argosies where you open the door and the steps
Scandia?
come
What do they
out.
call that?
and-
Scandia?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scanias and Volvos. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what they're running over in Europe. They get these huge cab overs.
They got some nice cab overs over there.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Those trucks aren't that safe. God forbid you get into an accident, you're done.
Well, no, your feet.
Well, that's-
you just step right on out.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know about that.
that's the old joke with the cab overs. You're the first one to arrive at an accident.
Right.
Yeah. No, thank you. I think I like to have a little nose in front of me.
But if
Well-
you're going up to New York City, man, I mean that turning radius is going to be outstanding.
That's right. You won't have to worry about it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do my best to stay out of New York City. I'm out on Long Island.
He's in the
so I'm
island.
50
He's in the
miles east of
island.
the city.
Long
I don't
Island.
want that. I don't want no part of that city. Right now, that city is an absolute zoo. There's no rules. Everyone does whatever they want, and the police don't enforce anything.
Oh man, that's got to
I'm
be.
out.
Yeah,
It's a zoo.
I don't blame you. I always just imagine Long Island just being right next. And you always got to go through. I mean, I haven't been out that way in years, guys. So, I mean, I just I always thought you had to go through New York City to get anywhere, but I guess not.
No, you do. No, you are
Oh, you do?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but once I'm on Long Island, I don't leave it.
Oh, you do all your business
Well,
on Long Island.
I'm
Gotcha.
doing local. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing local. I'm running
Oh, so
local
are you going to the other end of the island like Martha's Vineyard and all that?
No, Martha's Vineyard is
No.
not Long Island. No. I'm like.
I thought it was on the other end of the island.
Have you been
No?
watching? Wait. Have you been watching those Gilgo murders? That serial killer.
I heard about him. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah, straight out his back door.
Yep.
Fun.
Well, not that close, but yeah, my cousins live right around the corner from where that guy lived. So.
Don't you
But
love
the
that?
long
It's like
story short of it is, I don't leave Long Island. There's, I stay locally. I don't have to go into the city. Now, if I did get a tank trailer,
yeah.
then I probably would have to do it. And then, like you said, it probably would make sense to get a day cab. But once again, I don't think I would jump into a day cab. I would run my 388, see how it goes, and if I need a day cab, then I'd get one. My
Right.
388's paid for.
Can't argue.
runs good.
Can't argue with that.
Right.
Right off equipment.
On that note,
You're going,
I'm
Jeff?
out of here.
All right, me too. I'm going to
You're
bed.
done?
Nice to
All right.
talk
Yeah.
to you guys.
Here-
man.
Yeah.
Here's
Good to meet
TC.
you.
Listen, here's TC pulling away in his plastic truck. He's gonna shift. Oh, there goes the brakes.
Getting a hill. I'm on a hill.
TC, that's not right, man. That's not right. You guys have
Well,
a
it was
good night.
It was good meeting you. And thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, TC. See you later,
Best of
Bob.
luck to you guys. Bye-bye.